Our starting point tonight is Egypt, where authorities are planning to hold presidential elections in December. The incumbent head of state, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, is widely expected to win that event despite the dire economic situation that's facing the North African economy. The Egyptian pound, for example, has lost pretty much half of its value since March 2022. Inflation reached an all-time high, 39.7% in the month of August. The economic crisis in the import-dependent economy was catalyzed by last year's Russia-Ukraine conflict, which destabilized critical food supplies and unsettled global markets. Investors have also pulled billions out of Cairo's foreign reserves, which at the moment remain buoyed by deposits coming in from wealthy Gulf allies whose promises to buy Egyptian state assets, however, have fallen short of government targets. So then let's bring in Yasser Kim with more context on this story and what we should expect from Egypt going forward. Yasser, let's go back to last week Saturday, where the president announced his candidature after a three-day event. And he said, and I'm quoting him here, "If the price of the nation's progress and prosperity is to go hungry and thirsty, then let us not eat or drink." So by implication, therefore, should Egyptians be preparing for years of economic austerity if he does win the election?
Well, first of all, obviously, when he said not eat and drink, it is out of the context of the whole speech, saying that it's very important to have the development of the economy as a priority, even if we have to sacrifice some of our well-being or the cost of living. And he's talking about all the billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars, as he said, that have been spent on infrastructure projects, roads, building industries, building the new capital, preparing the infrastructure for business and for expanding the country, the cities outside the congested areas, cities around the Nile, such as Cairo, Alexandria, the overpopulated cities. So he was saying that this has put a huge burden on the budget, and obviously with the latest geopolitical difficulties and challenges, this has put a burden on the economy itself. And obviously, you just said before we went on air now that you talked about the challenges, the economic challenges, the IMF loan, the mounting external debt, the inflation that is recording record nearly 40% inflation, the soaring price. Obviously, this is something many Egyptians know. It is going to be a bit difficult even next year when the IMF Egypt has to address the concerns of the IMF to be able to receive more loans and more investments, foreign direct investments. So first of all, obviously, the pound, the floating of the Egyptian pound, which is expected maybe first quarter of 2024. You've got also the subsidies on energy, electricity, gas, and so forth, that will also be reduced. So all this, yes, there should be some concern, or at least he's telling Egyptians to be ready for maybe a tough period in the next few months or a year or so. But he also talked about giving as possible social welfare programs and social programs to help those in need or that will be much affected by these increases in prices. Back to you.
All right then. So who are the other challenges ahead of the December election, and what sort of economic policy challenges, if any, are they proposing?
Okay, there are around 6 or 7 who have announced that they will be running for elections. In order to actually be a candidate, he has to get an endorsement of 20 parliament members or 25,000 Egyptians. So 3 of the 7 have already managed to get the 20 parliament members. The most controversial, the one who is attracting most media attention, Ahmed Tantawi, he is opting for the more difficult situation, is trying to get around 25,000 Egyptians endorsement from 15 different cities. If we talk about the economic program of these candidates, Hazem Omar, who is the one who managed to get the 20 tickets from Parliament, he's a businessman, and there's Al-Wafd party, Sanad Yamama, who is also a liberal. Both are more towards freeing the economy for the private sector, more private sector involvement, giving more to the to speeding up the privatization process, speeding up the process to reduce red tape and reduce all kinds of issues. And then you have Ahmed Tantawi, who's more socialist. He was talking more about giving more support to the low-income earners, more subsidies, which obviously comes around, will not be good to hear from the IMF and so forth, but increasing subsidies, increasing support to the low-income earners. So we have two spectrum of the economy, but the economy and the economic agenda will be a big focus of the elections this year. And although the program of these candidates is not still put on the table, after the candidacy is ready and the campaign begins, we will know more about that. But these were only some points that they have mentioned in their speeches or in their meetings in the last couple of days.
All right then, Yasser. One last question for you though. A US Senator, Robert Menendez, is facing charges of bribery in the United States, and prosecutors over there essentially alleging that he worked to influence US foreign policy decisions in Egypt's favor. Have we heard any sort of formal response from authorities in Cairo?
No, there has been no response, no comment. I think at this moment the government of Egypt sees that there is no need to give any comments. It is not yet involved. What we are seeing now are allegations. The suspect, the main suspect, the Egyptian businessman Wael Hanna, actually, when he heard about the subpoena from the US, he was in Egypt with his family, and he opted voluntarily to travel to the US to submit himself and continue the trial there, saying that he's innocent. The allegations obviously against Mendes and the rest is still at the moment not final. So the government, I think, sees no need to interfere at the moment or to say any or to come up with any statements or comments. So far there is no reaction from Egypt.